Ryanair could look for an alternative aircraft supplier to Boeing because of US tariffs. That was the warning from company CEO Michael O'Leary Thursday.
On January 12th, Delta Air Lines announced that it was ordering 20 Airbus A350-1000s. When they enter service, the aircraft will be the largest type operating in Delta's fleet.
Look, Jim, it is what it is. We've got to manage through the programs that we have. I would say across our defense business, we've got some pretty tough contracts, and that's been well publicized.
It didn't start with a crash. It started with an email. On May 7, 2025, Boeing's top executives in Chicago got a message with just 2 words: Ryanair withdrawal. No warning, no explanation, but the meaning was clear. Ryanair, Europe's biggest budget airline and a key Boeing customer, had canceled its next 737 MAX order. The reason? Not safety, not quality, just rising costs, specifically tariffs, and the blame pointed straight at U.S. trade policy. If you're finding this useful, hit the like button to support the channel. By lunchtime, things got worse. A Turkish airline wanted to redo its deal. A Latin American carrier paused all talks. An African airline froze its plans, saying U.S. rules were too unstable to trust. Inside Boeing, panic set in. A new 25% tariff had just kicked in, on all plane parts, with no exceptions. Boeing, caught off guard, was hit hard. The company's leaders had thought being an American brand would protect them. Just months earlier, the CEO had told investors not to worry.
So we've got, across our defense and commercial business, roughly $500 billion of backlog. And, you know, one of the things I've done as I've come into the new role is met with many of our customers.
The CEO had confidence in the new administration. He said it supported American jobs, and that Boeing was the perfect example of an American success story. He believed any trade pressure would target foreign competitors like Airbus, not Boeing. But he was wrong. By March, it was clear the new tariffs weren't carefully targeted. They hit everything. Boeing started taking real damage. Before we go on, don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. In response, the European Union hit back hard, with $100 billion in countermeasures, and right at the top of their list, Boeing's commercial planes. Aircraft once seen as too important to be part of trade disputes were now at the center of one. The impact was immediate. Boeing's CEO called an emergency meeting with the board.
As we make fundamental changes to our company to restore trust and return the Boeing company to the American manufacturer it used to be.
Boeing's CEO took his concerns to Congress. He warned that if the EU's new tariffs stayed in place, Boeing could lose $3 billion in orders by the end of the year. And he wasn't wrong. Air India put a major jet deal on hold. Emirates reopened talks with Airbus. Lufthansa paused all Boeing purchases until the tariff issue was settled. Then the supply chain started falling apart. In Canada, a landing gear supplier stopped shipping parts. In Germany, a key avionics company halted production. In Japan, an electronics supplier backed out of a 10-year deal. Back in the US, the impact spread fast. Boeing froze hiring in Charleston. In Wichita, engineers scrambled to find American-made parts to replace the now tariffed ones, but those parts didn't exist. In Texas, a composite materials company laid off 70 workers. In Arizona, a cabin interior supplier shut down after 30 years in business. Then came another blow. China restricted exports of rare earth elements. These materials are crucial for Boeing's flight controls, sensors, and power systems. Production slowed. Entire assembly lines stopped. And competitors jumped in. China's Comac started winning new contracts in Africa and Southeast Asia. Brazil's Embraer, once close to merging with Boeing, gained momentum across Latin America. Even Airbus, Boeing's biggest rival, joined a global call to calm things down, saying the whole aviation industry was now at serious risk. But by then, it was too late. Ryanair canceled 3 more jet orders outright.
Ryanair could look for an alternative aircraft supplier to Boeing because of US tariffs.
Delta also hit pause, delaying its planned fleet expansion for 2026.
On January 12th, Delta Airlines announced that it was ordering 20 Airbus A350-1000s.
Even Emirates, one of Boeing's top clients, warned it might take future orders elsewhere if prices don't come down. Inside Boeing, concerns are growing fast. The CFO admitted that if tariffs stay in place, revenue could drop by 10% this year and double if China strikes back again. One board member didn't hold back, saying, "We're being sacrificed for a sound bite." That quote came right after a bold statement from Trump. "We're protecting American skies. If Boeing can't adjust, someone else will. And someone else is already stepping in." Airbus is thriving. Comac, the Chinese aircraft maker once dismissed as weak, is filling the gap. Leasing companies are now spreading orders around. Boeing is losing market share fast. The stock is down nearly 20% in 3 weeks. There's talk of a credit downgrade and even a possible company split to protect investors. Inside Boeing, leaders are divided. Some want to cut prices. Others say that'll damage long-term profits. Ortberg is stuck in the middle, trying to keep both investors and customers on board. In Congress, efforts to fix the issue failed by just 3 votes. Lawmakers tried to protect aerospace parts from tariffs, but the White House pushed back, threatening even more penalties if Congress interfered. This is no longer about trade. It's a full-blown economic battle. Boeing is right in the crosshairs. Airlines are rethinking their future with Boeing. Suppliers are pulling back. Some customers now see the company as too political to work with. If this continues, the next big aircraft deal won't go to Boeing, it'll go to Europe or China. The real question now? Not if Boeing can survive 2025, but if it can survive this administration. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really going on, hit like and subscribe. This story's not over yet.